Now, the question is, where exactly is Lil Yachty? Let's talk about it. On the second part of this video, I'll also be talking about Travis Scott, as you can see from the title. But of course, let's start talking about the one and only Lil Boat first. So we all know that Lil Yachty is a rapper who started gaining a lot of attention at the beginning of 2016 thanks to this skit right here. One Night was the track that put Yachty on, and later that same year, he was also on the XXL cover. Let's also not forget Broccoli by Drum. That was a very big moment for Yachty. But apart from that, this is one of those rappers whose peak is clearly, behind him. And it's a little bit strange for me to say this because don't forget, Lil Yachty along with 21 Savage, Lil Uzi Vert, Kodak Black, and Designer were the mark of the so-called new wave of rap. 2016 is exactly where this term started to get used. And apart from Designer, Yachty is clearly the only one out of all these people who's gotten left behind. And of course, it is for a reason. The thing about Yachty is he's been a little bit too inconsistent. One thing I want to make clear about Lil Boat is he's not a rapper that's supposed to be taken seriously. Everything about him screams lighthearted. I mean, he's entertaining in his own way. That's why One Night was such a big song. Yachty is the kind of rapper that doesn't need to try too much to create an aura in his records, and I think the fact that he has such a positive and uplifting personality outside of the music just on a personal level bleeds into his records. That's why when we hear songs like Peekaboo from him, his style as it is just isn't consistent with that. There's no kind of synergy whatsoever.
Aiming at you and your fellows. My new bitch yellow. She blow that dick like a cello. Fuck a dancing that bitch, I'm on the metro.
I'm really trying to figure out Lil Yachty, and I'm asking myself, what does he have to offer that's gonna satisfy people in the long term? One rapper I want to compare Yachty to is Kyle. Now, I'm actually not a fan of Kyle's music, but I do appreciate his ability to consistently stick to the sound people became a fan of him for. Kyle is one of those rappers who's found success in that overly positive and happy music, and although a lot of people criticize him for, being corny, there's a bunch of people out there who appreciate him for being him, which I think is dope. And I think that's kind of where Lil Yachty himself is lacking. It seems like people appreciate him more for being a personality rather than his actual music, which depending on what you're trying to do as an artist, it's all relative. But let's not pretend that Yachty isn't in the position he's in today because of his music. The battle he's gonna face, or actually has been facing for some time now, is keeping his name alive. You can be someone like 21 Savage who's showed a lot of character development throughout these 3 years he's been relevant, and I feel like that's a very big reason as to why so many people support 21. Or you can be like Uzi and combine your very interesting personality with some great music, or you can be like Kodak Black and get in all kinds of trouble and make people invested in your story as you're coming up. Also, Kodak got a lot of really dope music, let's not deny that. But what is it gonna be for Lil Boat? One thing I see in his future is, being some kind of mentor for young rappers who are coming up. Because one thing that's really good about Yachty is he's extremely business savvy. From some of the moves he's been able to make throughout his rap career, you can see that he has a very entrepreneurial spirit, which a lot of young rappers do not have. In fact, a lot of young rappers don't know anything about marketing or business, which is actually a crucial part about being an artist, because you are a businessman first and an artist second, always. So yeah, that's all I have to say about Lil Yachty for now. Let's move on to the next topic of this video, which is Travis Scott is very unproblematic. This is the kind of topic you won't see too many people covering because there's not too many bad things, or any for that matter, to say here. This is about how well Travis Scott handles drama and things that get thrown at him from the outside. Let's start with the whole Travis versus Nicki situation. Travis Scott gets the #1 spot for the second week in a row after dropping Astroworld, and Nicki is not having it because her album comes in second place in its first week of being out.
But what we not gonna do is have this auto-tune man coming up here selling fucking sweaters and telling y'all he sold 500,000 fucking albums, because he didn't. And it's a lot of rappers behind the scene that want to talk about it and they're scared. But sweetheart, I'm not scared. I'm legendary in these streets.
The sodium was off the charts on that audio clip right there, and I think you heard the same thing. See, it's not about if Travis cheated his way to the top, which of course he didn't, but let's pretend like that's what happened, when in reality, we all know it's called working smarter, not harder, and marketing the right way. But really, that's not what it's about. This whole situation kind of showed people Nicki's true colors. The biggest issue here was the fact that Travis played the game like he's supposed to, and Nicki Minaj didn't. The funniest part about this is the fact that after everything she said, the only thing Travis had to say to Nicki was this.
Rest in peace, the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. Astroworld #1 right now. BMAs, make some noise!
Astroworld #1 right. He just had to rub it in her face in such a subtle way. Let's move on to the second situation Travis somehow got involved in, which was because of the drummer Tommy Lee. I made a video on this when it happened, so just in case you want to see an in-depth breakdown of the entire situation, I will leave a link to that video in the description below. Pretty much what happened was the drummer Tommy Lee called out Travis Scott for supposedly copying his stage design. Little did he know the entire concept of the Astroworld cover is an amusement park, which is the exact thing he accused Travis Scott of copying. And also also the company that made the stage design rented it to Travis, so what are we even talking about here? In this situation, Travis didn't of course respond, but his lawyer did it for him instead. Is it just me, or is Travis the kind of artist who makes his music and doesn't bother anyone? And when people are trying to include him in drama that he has nothing to do with, he contains himself and doesn't give away any free clout. I would like to see more artists taking this kind of approach, but then again, not everyone is as fortunate as Travis. I mean, he's of course one of the biggest rappers out right now. His fan base is extremely big, so technically he doesn't need to participate in any unnecessary drama. Still though, I really salute him for focusing on the things that actually matter despite people constantly trying to knock him off his path. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this topic, but definitely let me know what you have to say about this entire conversation surrounding Lil Yachty and his quote-unquote disappearance. And also, what do you think about Travis Scott being so unproblematic? Definitely let me know in the comment section below and let's have a discussion about this.